the intro music. Yeah! Woo!
Hey everybody, we are about 3 weeks into the Voyager release here, and a lot's been discussed about it. You know, we've talked about its cargo bay, its loop, its unlocking process, and all of that. But what I want to do is talk about some of the positives that came through this month, and one of those, in my opinion, is how the Voyager unlocks your ability to get certain primes for free in the game, whether that's certain levels of primes or whether it's primes in their entirety. And I'm going to talk about that in this video, because if you are a free-to-play player or a low spender, you want to know what you can get for free, and if you're one of those spenders, what can maybe you choose to spend on something else, because this will allow you to get something that you would have bought otherwise. So let's break down. Yes, it looks great. Why the nacelles don't raise at warp, I don't know, but she looks good. And let's talk about the Voyager and what she can open you up to. Now, specifically, some of these that I'm going to talk to you about, I'm focusing on players Ops 42 and above. Others, I'm talking about anyone. So if you feel like maybe some of this doesn't apply to you, don't worry. At some point, it will apply to you, even if it doesn't feel like it does right now. And we're going to talk about 2 ships specifically to give examples. We're going to bring up the Voyager a lot, but I'm also going to be using my Pylum as an example, talk about some of the savings that some of these primes can give you, so you can see some reference material on the screen, and just so I can show off my Pylum, because I'm really excited about her and I love her. Yes, I'm a big fan of my Pylum. So that and my free-to-play Kelvin that I've got cooking. So let's start with the beginning. What does it open you up to? So I want to show you researches that came out last month and how important they are and how impactful they are. I mean, we talked about these being arguably some of the best researches ever released. So if you go to the station tree, you can find prime efficient ship parts and prime efficient ship engineering. The engineering giving you crystal, gas, ore, dilithium, titanium, etc., discount. And then you're getting in the efficient ship part, which I personally think is the more important of the two, but they're both very important. This is going to lower the base ship cost, and this has 10 different levels, a lot of levels, and a lot of reduction. But what are you actually getting from that value-wise, and how do you get them? Now, I spoke out pretty adamantly that I disliked these coming out for many reasons, and one of those being that there was no free-to-play path that we could see. With a lot of y'all's feedback, to be very clear, this is all based on y'all giving feedback to game design that this popped up, so this is why comments on Discord, official Discords, Facebooks, surveys, etc. happen. You do not have a path to unlock some of these early on. So let me go and show you where. If you actually unlock the Voyager, you've got a field training here. Click, click, where once you go into field training, you're going to notice at the end of the field training, there are these 3 milestones. And those milestones pay out dolomite particles, 400 each. That's 1,200 total particles. And you see that you've got to defeat hostiles, 6,000 of them. You got to trade commerce insignias, that's 1,000 of those, and you have to mine 50 million total anomaly samples. So they're not exactly easy to do, but they all can be done, especially in less than a year. We've had some players complete some of these already, so it is definitely doable. I'm not going to go through the various processes of how to make that happen. For example, hostiles are self-explanatory. You get the commerce insignia in the refinery, or by farming the Herogen freighters, and then farming anomalies is farming anomalies. You go mine them, and that's how you complete them. But where does that actually take you? So for example, we can go to level 4 of one of those researches, and is that good or bad? Well, let me show you what level 4 of these ship parts would actually do. Did I pass it? I think I did. I'm blind. Oh, I'm in Galaxy. Wrong tree, Rev. Idiot. Everybody call Rev an idiot in the chat right now. Or tag me on Discord right now. Call me an idiot. All right, so come over here, prime ship. Let's go to tier 4. That would be a 90% reduction. What does that actually look like? Remember when I said I was going to use my Pylum as an example? Now is when we're going to show you my Pylum. So my Pylum is currently tier 6, and I want to take it to tier 7. We know the cost of that is ridiculously high. Going and upgrading a Pylum is not cheap at all. And tier 7 is kind of that primo area where I talked about it can do Armadas super well, probably pretty good in PvP, and obviously PvE is definitely covered. So what I'm going to do is use my friend June Breeze Spox Club to give you all a visual of what this is going to do. So here is my upgrade cost right here. This is actually what it would take me on my current research and everything else to go to tier 7. This is just flat tier 6 to flat tier 7. Would cost me 56 billion titanium, 115,000 uncommon interceptor parts, And then you see the crystal rares and stuff right there. And this is actually calculating all the researches and stuff I already have. But if I was to just get to level 4 of that prime efficient research, let me scroll down. Here it is here. See the ship parts? All right, I want you to look at numbers real quick. 115,000. What's it going to go down to? Who knows their math? 90%. Now I only need 82,000. That is a significant reduction. 33,000 less parts is huge. And for you free to play out there, this is massive. This is helping you ease some of those bottlenecks that you're going to face in 4-star and 5-star space. And you can start grinding for these primes, even though you're not really going to benefit from them until you get to 4-star, 5-star. Start grinding for these when you unlock the Voyager at level 35. So this is one of the reasons we're excited about those free-to-play primes. And also, if you did tier 4, you could also, in this one, still afford to get tier 1 of the other, which would then come and lower some of your crystal, etc., just a little bit as well, which we absolutely love. And that's one example of the free-to-play prime path that the Voyagers are unlocking for you. It's not giving you all 10 levels, but it is starting on that process as we hope to get them to move closer and closer to having all primes get some level of long-term free-to-play unlock, which is part of our goal. Let's go back to the Voyager, because this is not the only one. In fact, one of the Voyager's biggest advantages over all other ships is it has a significantly high warp range. You can see mine is warp 230 right now, and if you go into your research tree, you'll see in starships that if you scroll on down, there's a lot of Voyager research. Well, a lot of that Voyager research can actually get you very deep into space before any other ship can. And we talk about being able to do that as an advantage because there are missions that you can do that pay out certain resources. All right, let me put it up on the screen. This is a big one. Shout out again to Mando and Jules Verne for putting this one together. I didn't help with this one at all. So shout out to them. And this shows you 5 deep space missions you can do that give you 810 5-star uncommon crystal that previously you might not have been able to reach until now, thanks to the Voyager's warp range. So here actually how you would do it right here. Either using a Fuchsia, which is not near as good as a combat ship as the Voyager, just FYI, or the Voyager, Ops 42 versus Ops 44. So if you're a low Ops player, you got a tier 4 Voyager, you got the tier 5 warp engine for the Voyager, and then you went and did your enhanced warp cores, your antimatter recycler, which is in the background. We'll show you in a second. Antimatter recycler is the overall warp range increaser for the Voyager. And then you could actually run this crew right here, and then crystal efficiency. This is where you need to make sure you've done your efficiencies, because you need crystal efficiencies to make sure you pay this off. But if you did that, that means that you've now gotten enough to grind for one of those primes right there. And depending on your research, technically you could get even one of the more expensive ones. But particularly, I want to focus y'all on the first 3: critical hit damage, interceptor manufacturing, and survey manufacturing, which in my opinion are the most important of those options. Why do I think they're the most important of those options? Well, kind of self-explanatory. What we just talked about, ship parts, biggest bottleneck. So actually, I'm gonna put this on the screen, rotate, and this is again me using my friend JB's Spox Club. I love what they've put together. This is talking about that prime interceptor manufacturing. If you look on there, this is me with my efficiencies, how much 5-star I would need to research it. And guess what? I did, because yay. So what I can do with this 5-star is now unlock a research that previously maybe I had to pay for, because you can't really scrap a ship if you're out, or you can't scrap it all. A 40 ship, a ship at 42 or 44, it gives you 5-star, right? That's not going to pay out for that. So instead, you can do these deep space missions thanks to the extreme warp range you unlock. And for example, here's Antimatter Recycler right behind me in the Starship's research tree, and you can see how high it's going to boost your warp range. That number 4 is boosting about 175. And as you keep going, depending on what tier you are, you get deeper and deeper into your warp range. And as you collect these, depending on what your research is, you can get 1, 2 of these researches for free just by going and doing your grind. Now, again, this is a lot of value to me as a player, because that means if I'm a spender, I'm saving money, or if I'm a free to play, I'm getting further ahead based on knowing how the game works, and we love that, right? So I've given you a way to get multiple primes for free. Well, at least made you aware of how to do it in today's video. So I hope you enjoy that. I really do. And if you did, comment. down below. If you have further questions about this, comment down below. So whether you're at 35 or 42 plus, you can start working on free primes that you can unlock that's going to improve your gameplay overall. The biggest ones I would recommend is the prime for ship parts efficiency, and then the interceptor prime, assuming that you're going to go for Pylum, Defiant, Talios, etc. Really going to help you out. And you start those at R&D 43. So helping you prepare for the future. Obviously, if you are curious about any of these graphics, you can find them in my Discord. Contact any of the people who volunteer. They have orange names in my Discord, and this one will get posted in STFC General. So there you go. And just to give a shout out, if you haven't seen it before, if you're wondering what that website I was using, it is Spock's Club, Spock's.club. That's how we track, or how I track all my research, how it costs me for cost efficiency and everything. And it's a fantastic player-made tool that we've talked about before. If you haven't checked it out, check them out. Live long and prosper, everybody. Stay safe with those Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next video. That's it. We're out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.